For 1,000 years, Earth had been silent. No signal, no ship, no light in the sky where the blue planet once glowed. The galaxy had forgotten its home of origin. Empires had risen and fallen in that silence. To most species, the word Earth was only a myth told to children, a story of a violent species that vanished after burning its own sky. But then, one quiet day in the middle of a calm galactic cycle, something impossible happened. Every starship, every station, every relay beacon across the galaxy received the same signal at the same time. It wasn't a coded message. It wasn't a distress call. It was a sound, deep, mechanical, and ancient, followed by one simple transmission in human language. Earth has returned. The message repeated 3 times, then disappeared. Panic spread through the outer colonies. Trade ships stopped moving. Communications froze. Even the mighty Tal Dominion, rulers of half the spiral arm, went silent. They had built their empire over the ashes of human ruins long ago. Now the name Earth had returned to haunt them. In the command hall of the Dominion fleet, Admiral Tal watched the signal again and again. "How is this possible?" he growled. Earth was destroyed during the solar collapse. There should be nothing left. A nervous officer replied, "Sir, scanners from the Andros relay confirm new activity near Sol Sector. Unknown energy readings. No known ships in the area." The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "Send a recon vessel. I want to see it myself." The scout ship Vigilant Star was small but fast. It crossed 3 sectors in 2 weeks. The crew, a mix of alien explorers and historians, were excited but afraid. The pilot, Lyra, kept her hands shaking on the control sticks. "Do you think humans are really back?" she asked quietly. Her captain, a calm, silver-skinned being named Vaughn, didn't look up. "If they are, then history is about to repeat itself." When they reached the Sol system, the sensors screamed with strange energy. The sun looked brighter than ever before, as if reborn. Jupiter's storm had vanished, replaced by calm blue swirls. Saturn's rings glowed with artificial lights, like cities floating in space, and Earth, once dead and cold, was alive again. The crew stood silent as the image filled the main screen. Green continents, deep oceans, and around the planet, floating in perfect orbit, were hundreds of metallic rings. Each one pulsed slowly, giving off a light that matched no known technology. "What are those?" whispered Lyra. "Defensive structures," said Vaughn, "or something even worse." A transmission blinked on the screen. It was not in any alien code. It was human. The voice was calm and emotionless. "This is Earth Command. Unregistered vessels, do not enter orbit." "Repeat, do not enter orbit." The crew froze. "They're alive," said Lyra, her voice shaking. "Humans are alive," Vaughn frowned, "or something pretending to be them." They sent a reply, trying to explain their peaceful mission, but no answer came. Only the soft hum of the planet below. Against all warnings, Captain Vaughn made a decision that would change history. "Bring us closer," he ordered. The Vigilant Star moved slowly toward the blue world. The closer they came, the stronger the readings grew. The ship's panels flickered, then darkened. One by one, every system shut down. Engines, lights, even oxygen monitors. Lyra gasped. "We're losing everything." Then through the dark, they saw movement. Shapes emerged from behind the planet's shadow, massive machines shaped like wings, gliding without sound. Their surfaces shimmered like liquid metal. They circled the ship slowly, studying it. No one spoke. Then a voice echoed inside their minds. Not through speakers, not through any known channel, but directly into their thoughts. "We warned you." The next moment, everything went white. Back at Dominion Command, the Vigilant Star vanished from all scanners. Not destroyed, simply gone, as if erased from space itself. The last image they transmitted showed the rings around Earth glowing brighter, like an eye opening. Across the galaxy, the same message appeared again. "Do not enter orbit." Empires held their breath. Some believed Earth had turned into a weapon. Others said it was a ghost, punishing anyone who disturbed it. But a few old historians whispered another possibility, that humanity had never died, that it had gone somewhere far beyond the stars. And now, after 1,000 years of silence, it had returned to take its place once more, and somewhere on that reborn planet, under the light of a stronger sun, a human figure stood before a shining tower. His eyes glowed faintly as he looked toward the stars. "The galaxy remembers our silence," he said softly. "Now it will remember our return." The winds of Earth carried his words into the glowing rings above. They pulsed once, as if answering him. Something ancient had awakened, and no empire was ready for what was coming next. The message spread across the galaxy like wildfire. "Do not enter orbit." No one knew who sent it, but everyone felt the warning deep in their bones. In the great council halls of the alien empires, panic ruled. The Tal Dominion blamed the trade spheres. The Carthy Alliance accused the Dominion of faking the message. Only a few dared to whisper the truth, that Earth was alive again and something powerful was protecting it, but curiosity is stronger than fear. Within a week, 3 more ships were lost. None returned, none left a trace. Each had entered Earth's orbit against the warning. Yet despite these disappearances, more explorers came. Everyone wanted to be the first to uncover Earth's secrets. Far from the chaos, a new expedition, prepared in silence. The research vessel Helion Grace, built by the neutral Lysari Union, was designed for stealth and deep analysis. Its crew was made of scientists, historians, and explorers. No soldiers, no weapons. They believed knowledge could protect them. Their leader, Dr. Kira Solon, was a calm woman with silver eyes and a quiet voice. She had studied Earth's ruins all her life. Her ancestors had found fragments of old human technology buried under alien cities. Now she was going to see the real thing. "We'll approach carefully," Kira told her crew. "No aggression, no communication, just observation. If something happens, we leave." Her second officer, Jalen, nodded but frowned. "Doctor, the last 3 ships said the same thing. None of them came back." "I know," she replied softly. "But history doesn't wait for the brave. It remembers the ones who take the risk." The Helion Grace jumped into the Sol system with a quiet flash. Instantly their sensors went wild. The sun's energy was far beyond normal levels. The planets seemed perfectly aligned, as if under control, and Earth was breathtaking. The planet looked peaceful from a distance. Blue oceans, white clouds, green continents glowing faintly. Around it, the great metallic rings still pulsed, slow and alive like a heartbeat. The ship drifted closer, and strange things began to happen. Every digital clock on board stopped. Data feeds froze. Sound recorders picked up whispers, low voices speaking in human language, repeating the same words over and over. "You shouldn't have come." "Are you hearing that?" Jalen said, pale-faced. Kira nodded, her eyes fixed on the screen. "Record everything." They switched to manual controls, trying to keep the ship steady. But the moment they entered the outer ring's range, gravity shifted. The ship began to pull toward the planet, like something was drawing them in. "Engines full reverse!" Jalen shouted, no response. The ship wasn't listening. Then a bright blue line appeared in space, a wall of energy forming in front of them. It wasn't solid, but it shimmered like water. Kira whispered, "We're inside something." The blue field wrapped around them, soft at first, then stronger, until the stars outside vanished. Only darkness remained. When the lights flickered back on, the crew found themselves above Earth's surface. Their ship floated silently above a vast ocean. The air outside shimmered with energy. "Where are we?" Jalen asked, scanning the readings. "No orbit data." "It's like space itself has changed." Kira looked at the planet below. Giant towers rose from the waves, made of silver metal. Between them moved dark shapes, ships, drones, machines, unlike anything ever seen. Then a calm voice filled the cabin. It wasn't coming through speakers. It was inside their heads. "Identify yourselves." Kira took a deep breath. "We are explorers from the Lysari Union. We come in peace. We only wish to understand." The voice was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke again. "Understanding is earned." Outside, one of the silver towers began to move. It twisted. unfolding into a giant structure that pointed straight at the Helian Grace. Energy gathered at its core, not bright but dark, like a hole swallowing light. "Shields up!" Jalen yelled. "No weapons!" Kira ordered. "Do not fight." The ship shuddered as the beam touched its hull, but instead of burning or breaking, the ship vanished, as if folded into light. Back in the outer systems, scanners across the galaxy blinked. For exactly 3 seconds, the Helian Grace appeared near Earth. Then it was gone. No explosion. No debris, just silence. A few hours later, a new transmission appeared on all networks. The voice was cold, human, and familiar. The warning was clear. Do not enter orbit. But this time, there was something new in the background, faint, but real, screams, human voices. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, every empire knew this was no ghost story. Something intelligent was guarding Earth, and it had the power to erase entire ships from existence. Dr. Kira Solan's final words, recorded before the signal vanished, would be repeated for centuries. They are not gone. They are awake, and they are watching. Deep beneath Earth's surface, in a hidden control chamber, lights flickered. A figure stood before hundreds of glowing screens. Human eyes, cold and focused, looked at the fading image of the Helian Grace. He whispered, "Still they come." Even after all this time, then he turned to the darkness behind him. "Prepare the next phase. The galaxy must remember what they tried to forget." Outside, the orbital rings pulsed again, faster this time, as if something powerful was charging beneath the blue clouds. The lost world had returned. And soon, it would no longer be silent. For the first time in centuries, the great empires of the galaxy gathered in one place. The meeting was held on Voron Prime, a neutral world that floated between star systems. Its halls were carved from crystal and metal, glowing with soft blue light. There, under the shining banners of 100 species, fear had replaced pride. Every empire had seen the message. Every fleet had lost a ship, and every ruler knew the same truth. Earth had returned, and nothing would ever be the same again. Admiral Kor Tal of the Tal Dominion stood at the center of the chamber, his armored chest rising and falling with anger. "We should destroy it," he shouted, his voice echoing through the hall. "That planet is a threat. It erases ships without warning. The longer we wait, the stronger it becomes." A soft voice replied from the opposite side. It came from High Scholar Vera, the representative of the Lissari Union, the same people who had lost the Helian Grace. "Admiral," she said calmly, "your empire once burned human colonies to dust during the old wars. Maybe Earth remembers." The hall grew quiet. The mention of the old wars always brought discomfort. It was a time when humans had spread across the stars faster than anyone expected, using strange technology that no one could copy. But then one day they vanished. Many believed they destroyed themselves. Others whispered they had gone somewhere beyond known space. Now, after 1,000 years, they were back, and stronger than before. A tall insectoid ambassador from the Carthy swarm rose next. "The humans were once our allies," it said in a clicking voice. "They helped us fight the Void Reapers. But their power was unnatural. They made weapons that thought for themselves. We remember the screams of stars dying. We remember what they did to the sky. Its mandibles trembled. If Earth has rebuilt that power, we must unite before it is too late." "But unite against what?" Vera asked sharply. "A world that has not attacked us. A planet that only warned us to stay away?" The room erupted in arguments. Voices collided, each empire shouting their fears, their pride, their ancient wounds. The word Earth echoed again and again like thunder. At the far end of the chamber, a small figure raised his hand. His name was Taran Voss, a young historian from a forgotten colony. He had no army, no fleet, only knowledge. "Listen to me," he said, stepping forward. "You all speak of fear. But have any of you asked why Earth returned?" No one answered. Taran placed a small projector on the table. A hologram flickered to life, old images of humans standing beside alien allies, ships bearing both human and alien symbols. Before the silence, Taryn said, humans created something called the Guardian Network. They said it was meant to protect the galaxy from what waits in the dark. When they disappeared, that network went quiet too. Maybe Earth was gone because it was fighting something we could not see. The chamber went silent. Even Admiral Cortal frowned. Vera's eyes widened slightly. Are you saying they didn't abandon the galaxy? They saved it. Taryn nodded. Maybe the warning isn't a threat. Maybe it's a defense. Before the council could decide, a sudden light filled the room. The main screen on the wall blinked alive, an untraceable signal. Every translator unit activated at once. A face appeared. It was human, pale, with calm eyes that glowed faintly blue. He spoke slowly, each word echoing in every mind present. To those who watch us from afar, you have forgotten. We have not. We asked for silence and you filled it with war. We asked for peace, and you built empires from our ruins. The hall froze. No one moved. Earth does not seek conquest, the voice continued. But the time of warning is over. Return what was taken, our relics, our memory, our name. The transmission ended, leaving only static. Admiral Cortal slammed his fist on the table. That was a threat. They demand from us as if we are their servants. Vera shook her head. No, I think it was a test. They're waiting to see how we answer, but not everyone believed that. In a dark corner of the chamber, a figure in shadow sent a private message through a hidden channel. His eyes gleamed with hatred. He belonged to the Dravak Syndicate, an empire built on stolen human technology from 1,000 years ago. He whispered to his commander, "They want what was taken. They will not get it. Prepare the weapon. We strike first." Outside the council halls, warships began to move. Some prepared for diplomacy. Others prepared for battle, and far away, in the deep shadows of the Sol system, Earth's rings glowed brighter. The defense towers awoke, sensing the coming storm. In the silent command center below the planet's surface, the same human figure from before stood before a glowing map of the galaxy. "They're gathering," said a mechanical voice beside him. He nodded. "As expected. Do we strike first?" The man smiled faintly. "No, let them come. Let them show who they truly are." He turned to the screen where alien fleets were already moving toward the solar system. "The Council of Empires will soon learn," he whispered, "that the lost world remembers everything." The Earth's heartbeat, the pulse of its orbiting rings, grew faster. Echoing across the stars, the silence was breaking, and the galaxy was about to hear the voice of humanity once again. The great fleets of the galaxy began to move. From the glowing docks of the Dravak Syndicate, dark ships launched in silence. They carried a weapon so secret that even their captains did not know its full power. The weapon was called the Black Sun, a sphere of compressed antimatter stolen from ancient human technology. The Dravak believed this strike would end the mystery forever. They would destroy Earth before it could rise again. No council approval. No warning, only fear and pride. Across the stars the news spread quickly. The Tal Dominion denied involvement. The Carthi swarm demanded an investigation. The Lissari Union begged for peace. But by the time anyone acted, the weapon had already left its cradle. It traveled faster than any known ship, hidden inside a cloaked capsule. No radar, no light, no sound. A perfect shadow. Destination, Sol system. Target Earth. On the blue planet below, the skies were calm. Oceans moved gently. Forests breathed under warm sunlight. But deep beneath the surface, in the command core, alarms began to glow. The human figure from before, Commander Aiden Kale, stood before a large display. Its eyes glowed faintly with starlight as data streamed across the screen. "An unauthorized object has entered the outer system," said the AI voice beside him, calm and cold. "Trajectory?" Kale asked. "Direct to Earth. Impact in 9 minutes." Kale didn't move. He looked up toward the holographic display of the galaxy above his head. "So they couldn't wait," he said softly. "They still think fear will keep them safe." He raised his hand. "Activate the halo rings." High above Earth, the metallic rings around the planet came alive. One by one they began to rotate, faster and faster, forming patterns of blue light that covered the sky. Each ring connected to another, creating a vast web of energy, a living shield. The incoming weapon appeared on scanners for just a moment, a small black point moving faster than light. Then it vanished. Every telescope, every radar, every probe across the galaxy tried to track it. Nothing. The black sun had disappeared completely. Inside the Dravak warship Oblivion, Commander Reth watched his monitors in disbelief. The weapon should have hit by now, his second officer said nervously. Reth snarled. Run the scan again. I want to see the impact, but the scan returned only one image, Earth untouched. The weapon was gone. No explosion, no light, not even radiation. And then the impossible happened. A message appeared on their ship's screen. It was not a signal. It was a voice, human, calm and cold. You tried to strike us with our own creation. The black sun was never yours to use, Reth froze. How? How do they know? Return what you stole, the voice continued, or the stars that hide you will forget your names. Before anyone could respond, every system aboard the Oblivion shut down. Engines, life support, even gravity. The ship went dark, silent as a tomb, floating dead in space. Across the galaxy, the same thing happened to every Dravak ship. An unseen pulse swept through their fleet, disabling them all. In one instant, an entire empire was left powerless. Back on Voron Prime, the Council of Empires watched in horror. They had seen the pulse too. They had felt it ripple through their scanners, like a hand brushing across every ship. Admiral Kortal slammed his claws on the table. They have weapons beyond anything we've seen. They didn't fire, they simply erased. Vera from the Lysari Union spoke softly. No, they didn't destroy. They warned. Her words carried a weight the others could feel. On the main display, a new signal appeared. An open transmission from Earth. The image was clear this time. A human stood against a background of stars, tall and still. His eyes shone faintly, and his voice was calm. We did not return for war, he said. But those who bring war to our home will find silence waiting for them. He paused. You built empires on our ruins. You called us myths. You stole what you did not understand. Now the debt is due. Return what was taken. Then the transmission ended. The council hall erupted in noise. Some shouted for peace. Others screamed for defense. But one thing was clear. No one could fight Earth anymore. The Tal Dominion began recalling their fleets. The Carthi swarm locked their borders. The Lysari Union sent envoys to open communication, but not all were ready to surrender. In a hidden system far beyond the Council's reach, a secret order of scientists watched the transmission. They were known as the Ascendants, and they had been studying ancient human tech for centuries. Their leader, a cold-eyed alien named Ravos, smiled as the message ended. So the humans have returned, he said quietly. Good. We've been waiting. He turned to his engineers. Prepare the gate. If they've awakened, then the rift will open soon. On Earth, Commander Kyle stood in silence before the map of the galaxy. Do you think they'll stop now? The AI asked him. Kyle looked up, eyes filled with cold fire. No, fear doesn't stop war. It only delays it. He turned toward the great window that showed the stars. But they don't understand. The real danger isn't us, the AI flickered. Then what is coming? Kale's voice dropped to a whisper. What followed us home? Outside, the orbital rings pulsed once more, brighter than ever before. Far beyond the solar system, in the deep black of space, something vast began to move, and for the first time in 1,000 years, the galaxy trembled. The war had not even begun yet. For days, the galaxy was silent again. After the Dravak attack failed, every empire hesitated to act. Their fleets stood frozen at their borders, afraid that a single move toward the Sol system might bring another silent strike. But then, something unexpected happened. A signal began to spread, not a threat, not a warning, but a voice. It came from Earth, on the moon Titan, inside an observation post belonging to the Carthi swarm. Technicians gathered around a holographic screen. It's not like the last one, said a young officer. It's Peaceful, the signal wasn't scrambled. It was clear. The voice was calm, human, and steady. It spoke in a language every translator understood instantly. "To the empires of the galaxy," the voice said. "This is Earth Command." All across space, screens flickered alive on ships, stations, and worlds. Every empire listened. "We have watched you from the edge of the void," the voice continued. "We have seen you rise, conquer, and destroy. We did not interfere. We wanted to see if the galaxy could learn peace without us." The image changed, showing the blue planet, glowing beneath its metallic rings. "We left this galaxy 1,000 years ago to protect you. We went beyond the outer dark, a place where even light does not travel. We fought something there, and we won. But not completely," the voice paused. "Across the galaxy, no one dared to speak. What followed us home," the human said, "is not life. It is hunger. It devours stars. It consumes thought. And now it is coming." A silence followed, deep and heavy. Then the image flickered again. This time it showed a vast shadow moving through space, blacker than the void itself. It had no shape, only whispers, echoes of dying worlds. "We returned not to rule, but to warn. You have feared Earth, but what is coming will not fear you." In the council chamber on Voron Prime, the alien leaders stared at the broadcast. Admiral Cortal broke the silence. "They expect us to believe this?" "A ghost story." But High Scholar Vera shook her head slowly. "The energy readings near the outer rim, they've been growing? I've seen them myself." "Maybe they're telling the truth." The young historian Taryn Voss spoke next. "If the humans fought something out there and survived, then they might be our only hope," Cortal growled. "Hope? They erased a whole fleet without firing a shot. That's not hope, that's power." But before he could say more, a new signal appeared, direct from the Sol system. It was live. A figure appeared on the main screen. It was the same man seen before, Commander Aiden Kale. He stood before a great window showing Earth below. His eyes glowed faintly with blue light. "I speak now not as a conqueror, but as one of you," Kyle said. "Once humanity was like you. We fought for power, for land, for pride. It nearly destroyed us. But when we vanished, we found something greater, something older than stars." He leaned closer. "You call it the dark between galaxies. We call it the silence. It feeds on light, on thought, on life. We contained it, barely, but now it follows our trail. The rift is opening again." Images appeared behind him, a swirling tear in space, black lightning spreading from it. "We do not want war with you," he continued. "We want unity. Your weapons, your ships, your minds. Together we can survive. Alone, you will not." The council members looked at one another. The fear in their eyes was real this time. Kel's voice softened. "You fear us because you remember what we were. But remember this too. Humanity never stopped being part of you. We built your first colonies. We gave you your first lightspeed engines. We died so you could live." He raised his hand, and the image of the galaxy appeared behind him, dots of light connected by thin blue lines. "If you still see us as monsters," Kyle said, "then stay away. But if you are ready to fight for all life, then come to Earth. Together, we face what comes next." The signal ended. In the silence that followed, the galaxy changed. The Lizari Union voted to send their science fleet to Earth's orbit under a banner of peace. The Carthy swarm offered their soldiers. Even the Tal Dominion, proud and stubborn, began preparing their defenses, but not everyone trusted humanity's words. In the dark corners of space, the Ascendants continued their secret work. They had listened too, and they smiled. Ravos, their leader, stood before a massive portal engine pulsing with red light. "So the humans return to face their monsters," he said softly. "Good. When the rift opens, they won't be alone." He turned to his scientists. "Activate Phase 2. Let the galaxy believe it fights the dark. We will control what comes out of it." Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Kyle watched the incoming transmissions, fleets offering alliance, others watching in silence. He stood with his AI companion, staring at the rift's coordinates glowing red on the screen. "Will they come?" the AI asked. Kyle nodded slowly. "They will." "Fear brings unity faster than faith," the AI's tone softened. "And if they betray you again?" Kyle looked up at the stars, his voice calm but heavy. "Then humanity will do what it has always done," he said. "Survive." Outside, the Earth's rings glowed brighter, forming patterns across the night sky. Far beyond Pluto, space began to ripple, a thin line of darkness stretching open like a wound. The rift had started to awaken, and this time, the galaxy would see what followed humanity home. The galaxy waited. Every empire's eyes were fixed on the same patch of darkness beyond Pluto, the place the humans called the edge of the rift. For days, nothing happened. Then the silence broke. A low vibration spread through space. It was not sound, but every ship felt it, like the heartbeat of something waking after a long sleep. Sensors screamed, lights flickered, and then space tore apart. On board the human flagship Eden's Watch, Commander Aiden Kale stood before a massive viewport. He had seen the rift before, 1,000 years ago, during the final battle that drove humanity away. But this time, it was bigger, alive. The darkness twisted like liquid shadow, swallowing light itself. Bolts of black lightning shot out in all directions. "Containment field is failing," shouted a young officer. Kale didn't look away. "Hold the perimeter. We cannot let it reach Neptune's orbit." But the rift was growing faster than any of their models predicted. It pulsed with a slow rhythm, like a heartbeat that did not belong to this universe. Then came the voice, a whisper, deep and distorted, echoing through every comm channel. No translation could catch its meaning, but one word was clear: hunger. Across the galaxy, chaos spread. The Carthy swarm's fleet on the frontier began receiving strange energy waves. Their captains reported visions, stars turning to ash, ships melting into dust, voices calling from the dark. Within minutes, 3 ships vanished without trace. In the Lizari Union, scientists tried to analyze the data. "The rift isn't just a tear," one said. "It's feeding." On Voron Prime, Admiral Cortal watched the live transmission. His officers were silent. "If the humans didn't open this thing," he growled, "then who did?" That question echoed across the stars, because not far from the rift, hidden behind Saturn's shadow, another fleet waited, the fleet of the Ascendants. Ravos stood inside his command ship, the Obsidian Crown, smiling as he watched the rift expand. "Magnificent," he whispered. "The humans think they brought it back, but it was always ours to control." Behind him, a machine pulsed with red light, their rift key, built from stolen human tech and dark matter. One of his scientists hesitated. "My lord, the entity inside, it's not responding to containment." "It's resisting." Ravos didn't flinch. "It is not meant to be contained. It is meant to be unleashed." He pressed his hand against the control sphere. "Open the channel." The ship's hull trembled as energy surged into the rift. The black hole widened, spinning faster. Shapes began to move inside. Tall, skeletal forms made of shadow and flame. The Ascendants cheered. The Voidborn awakened, but Ravos's smile faded when he saw something else. A blue light forming at the rift's edge. It wasn't part of the dark. It was fighting against it. On the Eden's Watch, alarms screamed, "Sir!" Unknown energy signature inside the rift, but it's not hostile. Gale leaned forward, projected on screen. The image appeared, a bright blue structure floating in the middle of the chaos. It looked ancient, wrapped in runes that pulsed like veins of light. "The beacon," Kyle whispered. "It survived." He turned to his officers. "Prepare a strike team. We're going in," the AI voice responded calmly. "Commander, no ship can survive the rift's core." Kyle smiled faintly. "That's why humanity built ships that don't just fly through space. They fly through silence." A moment later, 3 human vessels broke formation and dove straight toward the rift. Their hulls glowed with white fire, cutting through the darkness all across the galaxy. The transmission went live. Millions watched as human ships vanished into the storm. Inside the rift, reality bent. The crew felt time stretch and twist. Shadows whispered memories that were not their own. Kyle's voice stayed calm. Ignore the illusions. Stay on course. Through the dark mist they saw the beacon, broken but alive. Energy surged around it, pushing against the blackness like a heartbeat of light. Then something moved behind it, enormous, shapeless, ancient. The silence had a form now. It looked like a sea of smoke and bone, endless mouths opening and closing without sound. Every time it moved, stars flickered in the distance. Kale whispered, "It's awake." The silence turned toward the humans. The ship's systems screamed as energy drained instantly. One by one the lights went out. The AI's voice cracked. "It's consuming us, Commander." Kale's eyes glowed blue. "Then it's time to remind it who ended its first life." He reached toward the console, activating a weapon hidden deep inside the ship, the core light, a device built from the remains of a dying sun. As it charged, the ship shuddered violently. "Energy levels critical," shouted the pilot. Kyle nodded. "Good. That means it's working." The Eden's watch exploded with light, a single pulse so bright it tore through the rift like dawn breaking over night. The dark screamed. The galaxies trembled. Far away, Ravos's fleet was thrown into chaos. The rift key overloaded, burning his ships from within. He screamed in rage as the rift began to collapse, not closing, but fighting back. In every corner of space, humans, aliens, and machines watched the impossible happen. The rift pulsed with both darkness and light. Locked in a struggle that neither could win, Kyle's last transmission echoed across the galaxy. "The silence is not dead, but it remembers us now. Keep the beacons lit, we will return." Then the signal ended. On Earth, the night sky shimmered. The rings around the planet glowed bright white, like a shield of light across the stars. And from deep space, sensors detected something moving through hyperspace. Thousands of signatures heading toward Sol. Some were human, some were alien allies, and some were not. The rift had opened. But the war for the galaxy's survival had only just begun. The galaxy burned with light and shadow. The rift had not closed. It had changed. It now pulsed between darkness and brilliance, each wave sending ripples through hyperspace. Every empire could feel it, the pull of two powers fighting to claim reality itself. Earth was now the center of everything. Human ships guarded the Sol system, their hulls glowing with the strange blue energy of the core light. Around them, fleets from alien races gathered, the Lysari Union, the Carthi Swarm, and even the proud Tarl Dominion. No one trusted each other completely, but they all feared the same thing, the silence. In Earth orbit, Commander Aiden Kyle stood aboard the command deck of the rebuilt Eden's Watch. The ship had been restored from fragments, fused together by technology that seemed half alive. The AI beside him flickered. "The rift is expanding again. The energy pattern has changed. It's not attacking anymore. It's searching." Kale's eyes narrowed. "Searching for what?" Before the AI could answer, a transmission came in from the edge of the system. A distorted voice spoke, broken by static. "This is Ravos. You thought you could stop it." "You were wrong." Kyle froze. "Patch it through." The image appeared, Ravos, pale and burning with red energy. Behind him, the wreckage of his fleet floated in flames. "You think the silence is your enemy," Ravos said with a twisted grin. "But I have given it purpose." "It serves me now." Kyle stared coldly. "You can't control what doesn't think," Ravos laughed. "It doesn't need to think. It only needs to feed." He raised a black device, the remains of the rift key. Its glow merged with his body, turning his veins into rivers of red light. "When the light and dark meet, I will stand as the bridge between them. A god born from your mistakes." Then the signal cut. Hale turned to his crew. "All units, prepare for battle. He's bringing the rift here." On Neptune's orbit, the space around the planet began to twist. Reality cracked. The rift opened wide again, and out came Ravos's new fleet, half metal, half shadow, their ships crawling with dark fire. Behind them followed the Voidborn, creatures without shape, screaming silently through the void. The combined galactic armada opened fire. Thousands of plasma bolts and ion beams tore through the darkness. Explosions bloomed like stars. But every piece of the dark they destroyed grew back again, stronger and angrier. Kale's ship dove through the chaos, firing its core-light cannons. The beams tore holes in the shadow, but Ravos's voice echoed across every channel. "You cannot kill the dark, Kale. It is the other half of light." Kale gritted his teeth. "Then we end both, together." Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, the planet itself began to change. The rings glowed brighter, forming symbols across the sky. The old defense towers, silent for centuries, awakened, ancient human structures that hummed with power. The AI spoke softly. "The beacons are responding. The planet, it's alive." Kyle understood now. Earth was never asleep. It was waiting. He opened a direct channel to all allied ships. "This is Commander Kale. Focus fire on the rift's center. The planet will guide the energy. Do not break formation." The battle turned into a storm. Lissari cruisers formed light barriers. Carthy soldiers launched themselves in suicide runs to protect the human line. Even the proud Dominion ships, once enemies of Earth, fought with everything they had, but the rift fought harder. It screamed through the void, a sound that shattered metal and mind. One by one, ships fell. The silence began to spread again. Kale closed his eyes, feeling the pressure of 1,000 dying voices. Then he heard something else, a heartbeat, slow, steady, not his own. "The core light is ready," said the AI. "But if you activate it again, you won't survive." Kyle smiled faintly. "Humanity already survived the impossible once. Maybe that's what we're meant to do." He placed his hand on the control. "Sphere, begin synchronization with Earth." The ground trembled as Earth's rings aligned perfectly with the riveted beams of blue and gold light shot upward, piercing through the sky. Kale's ship rose at the center, engines glowing brighter than the sun. Ravos appeared again on the screen, his body almost gone, his voice hollow. "You'll destroy everything." Kale's eyes glowed with calm fire. "Sometimes that's the only way to start again." He whispered the final command. "Core light, ignite." The explosion was not like a weapon. It was a sunrise. The rift collapsed in on itself, folding space and time into a single flash. The Voidborn screamed, their forms burning away in pure light. Ravos's fleet vanished. His voice was the last to fade. "You can't kill the dark. It lives in you." And then, silence. Days later, when the light faded, the galaxy looked different. The rift was gone. The stars near Earth burned brighter. The night sky shimmered with a faint blue glow, the mark of the core light's pulse. In orbit, the Eden's Watch floated quietly. The crew searched for their commander, but he was gone. Only the AI remained, whispering through static. He did not die. He crossed the silence. No one understood what that meant, but deep beyond the stars, in a place between light and dark, a figure stood on a field of silver dust, looking up at a sky filled with newborn stars. It was Aiden Kale. His armor cracked with blue light, his voice a whisper carried through the void. "The dark was never our enemy. It was our reflection. Now, it's time to rebuild." He turned toward the horizon, where something new was forming. A gate, glowing with both darkness and light. Stable at last. The path to the unknown was open again. Narrator's voice, for video-ending tone. 1,000 years after vanishing, humanity returned not as conquerors, but as guardians. The galaxy would rebuild, united by what it feared most. And somewhere beyond the stars, the man who lit the core still walked, watching, waiting, ready for the next silence. The end, or perhaps the beginning.